Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Diane. Hey, Dave. Hey, Sonia. Oh, wow. You guys have a bunch of questions today. All right. How you guys doing? So today is going to be kind of the most interactive out of everything so far. If we have any people that are new on here for day 3, this is our last day, y'all. So whatever we're going to get done, we got to get it done right now. So if you are new on here, put your name in the chat and put where you're from, what city you're from. All right, I'll just start with I'm going to answer a couple of you guys' questions, but we do have to really go in today. So, is there anybody on here who already has a space that they would like to put on Airbnb? Because I want to help you do it live on here and post it so everybody else can see the process of how it's done. Who on here right now has a space? It doesn't matter if it's an extra bedroom, a couch, that you would like to put on Airbnb so I can walk you through that right now. Hey, Shantea. Hey, Sonia. If you do, put your name, put that in the chat. If you do, put it in the chat. And I was trying to see how, I don't even know if it'll allow you guys to share your screen live on here, but we'll figure it out. All right, but does anybody on here have a space that they would like to put on Airbnb? Like right now. All right. So Diane says, found out that I can rent it out when I don't. Okay, so you're talking about renting out your timeshare. So when you're not there, good question as far as how you can advertise and all that. I think some of those questions would need to be answered, of course, because we have a lot to get done today. But it's good that you already know that you can rent out your timeshare during the times that you're not there. So Sonia says, if you've already covered this, but this is any way for a person to generate passive income without any initial financial investment. If so, in what capacity? Um, okay. I think I might just have to save the questions till the end. There are some other ways, but there's still going to be some type of investment regardless. There's going to be financial investment and time investment regardless of what you do. So it just depends. Now there's are ways where you can raise the money if you don't have the financial investment to put in right away. There are ways that you can raise funds. And there's different ways that we talk about that in the course as well. But there are ways to come up with the funds. Because remember, if you're trying to do a property brand new, like outside of the property that you're living in right now, you are going to have to sign a lease and secure a property from a landlord, which means you're going to need first month rent and security deposit. So yeah, you will need some upfront funds for that. And we can kind of talk about how to raise some of those funds later on. There's different ways that you can do that. All right. Because remember, we only have 3 hours. So I'm trying to cover as much as we can. And today I kind of wanted to go through actually listing a property on Airbnb so you guys can see how it's done. Okay, so Sonia says, to piggyback off of Diane, can a person use a timeshare vacation package that they own that allows stays at multiple properties worldwide based on availability and blackout dates? I'm not sure about that one because you're talking about multiple properties worldwide. You're talking about multiple facilities, which means you're talking about multiple jurisdictions, especially when it comes to Airbnb regulations and things like that. So this is going to be a little bit different from her already having a specific um, place that she has a timeshare with because she already knows that she has permission from them to do this. So I think if you just have something that allows you to stay in multiple places, each time you need to do that, that specific place would have to be okay with it. And depending on what that place is, the requirements and laws and everything for Airbnb could be different. And for short-term rentals could be different in that specific place. So I don't think this is going to work the same as somebody that actually has a specific, timeshare at maybe a specific resort or something like that. That's going to be a little bit different. But great question though. All right, so is everybody on their computer on here? Dr. Diane, are you on here? Maybe we can go through listing the property on Airbnb. You can do your pictures and stuff later on, but we can walk you through it. Sonia says, I can let anyone stay that I want to. It's not who can stay, Sonia. That's not what matters. The fact is, they're saying that it allows multiple stays at properties worldwide. That's the issue, because every single property is going to have, depending on where it's located, if it's in a different state, a different country, could have different regulations, and that specific property may not allow that. So it just depends. If all of the properties allow that, which you would have to check every single property worldwide that's within the sphere of use to make sure, and to also make sure that the regulations for Airbnb are the same too. So that's going to be a whole nother ball game for that. Dave says, so can you rent out properties full time? Absolutely, you can rent out properties full time. That's the whole point, okay? Because the whole point is for you to not need a job, for you to be able to. That's the reason why you guys already realistically came up with your numbers. You know exactly how many properties you need. If you've been here for the last 2 days, if you haven't, you can go back and rewatch yesterday and the day before and go through the assignments and just everything that we did with us. So you guys should already know, if you've already watched yesterday and today, you should already know realistically what your financial goals are for you to be able to retire with passive income and replace your income, not just 100% of your income, but 120% of the income that you currently have coming in now, so you can maintain the same lifestyle. We also went through, you guys also even knowing exactly how many properties, rental properties that you would need, not on a long-term basis, but short-term rentals that you guys would need, corporate accommodations you guys would need to be able to replace your income, and replace it with 120% of what you're making now. So you guys should already have that information. So Dave, if you already know, hey, you need 4 properties to make $60,000 a year, or whatever your 120% was, then yeah, that once you get to that number, yeah, that could be full time, and it's passive. And the strategies that I teach you guys as far as even managing it also teaches you how to make the whole process passive. Just like yesterday, we talked about even having a cleaner and making that part of the process passive as well, which is usually the main part people think about for Airbnb or just any type of short-term rental period. The most time-consuming part is going to be the cleaning part, right? Because that's the part that kind of has to be done on time, done efficiently, done to a standard of excellence so you can get good reviews. So that's the most important part are going to be your reviews, because it's going to be your reviews that's going to determine whether people book your property or not. And so making sure the maintenance part of it with the cleaning and all those things are done to a certain level of excellence can make or break your Airbnb. So that part being passive is basically the main part. If you can get that passive, which will teach you how to do, of course, then yeah, you can do it full time and it can be passive. I know when I had multiple properties in the city, now I'm moving out of the states shortly, so I kind of just moving all my assets internationally now. But when I had multiple properties in the same location, before I went international, I would drive, to several ones. When, like, if the cleaner finished cleaning, I would drive there to go double check it and stuff. That was when I first started. I don't have to do that anymore, because the apps that they have for the cleaners, if I don't care if my cleaner is in Uganda and I'm in the United States, it allows her to be able to clean and then take pictures. And it's so easy. It's not like it's a whole daunting process of uploading and all that. It's built into the app. When she's done, she takes pictures of everything. I double check it. I confirm it before she's able to get paid on the job. So it just makes it easy to be able to manage that aspect of it from anywhere in the world, including the cleaning part, which is typically the hardest part. And then one thing that I did not talk about, that I'm going to just try to cover a little bit today for those of you who are choosing markets that are outside of the United States. there's a benefit to that. Okay. When you're looking at national markets versus international markets, your profit margin could be way higher. It just depends, right? For example, here in the United States, a typical maybe 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartment, depending on what area you're in, you may be paying $1,500 to $2,000 a month on that property, right? So to acquire that property, what would you have to do? You would have to pay your first month's rent, security deposit, fill out the application fees, all of that. So if that property is $2,000 a month, you're coming out, let's say your first month rent is $2,000, your security deposit is $2,000. That's at least $4,000 plus whatever your fees are for application. And then of course, if you're buying your own furniture versus leasing it and starting that way, so you're looking at having at least $5,000 up front just to get your first property here in the United States. Now, if we're looking at some foreign markets, that could be a whole nother ball game. For example, the Airbnbs that I have in Uganda, those properties are only $150 a month for rent. Okay. So just imagine first month rent. It works a little bit different there. They don't do first month rent and security deposit. They do 2 months of rent and security deposit. So essentially, I had to pay like $450 to secure that property versus having to pay $4 to $5,000 in the United States to secure the same property, right? Or the same size of property. And then not only that, um, there I can make about $1,000 to $1,500 a month off of each property that I have there. But the profit margin is way, way bigger, and the money that I'm putting up front is less. Okay, so that's another thing that this is one thing that is different from everybody else that I've seen that have taught about rental arbitrage. They're teaching you how to do it usually in this market. I haven't seen any courses that teach you how to do it internationally because your profit margin can be way higher internationally. Because keep in mind, let's say instead of starting with $5,000 to get one property here, let's say you took that $5,000 and let's say it cost you $500 each to get a unit, maybe in a different country where the rent is only $100 a month, US dollars a month. So now with $1,000, you could get 10 units. Just imagine that, okay? With $1,000, which is less than what you could get paid to get one unit here. With $1,000, you can get 10 units there, and if you're making $1,500 a month off of each of those units, that's $15,000 a month coming in. That exceeds most of you guys' goals that you guys have when we went through your numbers and looking at how much you realistically need to be able to retire with passive income. So don't have a closed mindset. Now, granted, when you start it, I do recommend you do it locally so you can get a feel for it and really know what you're doing and everything before branching off into doing it internationally. However, my company does, if you go to arbitragequeenrentals.com, we do offer services for those who are wanting to enter the international market where it's done for you, but we get to keep 30% of the monthly cash flow, but we will do it for you. So we do offer that done for you service as well, in addition to my course, which is what makes, out of everything I've seen out here as far as teaching rental arbitrage, different. Because guys, I've been in business all my life. One of the things that I'm very good at is looking at what people are teaching, how they're teaching it, what's missing, and what people are not fully tapping into, what doors are being left open, what money's going out the door, because we're not looking at it from a bigger picture. And that's one of the things that I've seen with rental arbitrage is understanding how to tap into international markets, and it can be a game changer. And that's one thing that I found. So, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit more because time is kind of flying. I want to kind of make sure we're able to cover everything today. I was still waiting to see if there was somebody in here who needed to actually list a property today. Who wants to list a property today? Anybody? So I was going to let you in here if you want to actually list your property. Who wants to list a property? I mean, it's pretty easy to do. It's kind of, it walks you through the prompts to do it. But who wants to actually list a property today? Nobody wants live help to list a property? Okay. All right. Now, how many of you guys got the email? For those of you who are registered, how many of y'all got the email with the coupon to get $100 off on the course? Y'all did? Okay. Okay, Diane, you said you're on your phone. I wish you were on the computer. You can do it on your phone, though. Yeah, I wish you were on your computer. Dave, are you on your computer? Put yes or no in the chat. We can just do one as an example. Is anybody on here on their computer? Oh, wait, you did? Okay. Did you already list your property, Dr. Diane? Okay, Lepsilia says, I got it. You got the email. Okay, awesome. So you should have the coupon to get $100 off. Shantae, you said you're on your phone. Dave, you're on your phone too. Okay, I guess we're going to have to do it on the phone then because everybody's on their phone. All right, since most of you guys are on your phone, I'm going to show y'all how simple this is. Let me pull up Airbnb.com. And I know for some of you, if you're on the same device, it'd be hard to hear me talking and be, but for most of you, if you have an iPhone, you should be able to be in multiple tabs at the same time. Okay, gotcha. All right, so we're going to go to Airbnb.com. All right, let me take that off the screen so you guys can see. Let's go to Airbnb.com. And while we're going through that, there's a couple of things that we started out talking about the amenities and things yesterday that you can have to make your Airbnb stand out. Another thing that can make your Airbnb stand out is going to be making sure that you're able to, and this, we'll see this as we're going through Airbnb anyway. So we'll cover some of this as we go through. So once you go to Airbnb.com, it should look like this. Okay, for some reason, it's not letting me share my screen on this document. So it should look like this if you're on Airbnb.com, if you're on your phone, because a lot of y'all are on the phone anyway. So let's do it on the phone. It should look like that. Once you get on there, then you're going to go to do not use the app, because if you use the app, it's going to change the whole, a lot of the process. Later on, once you really start doing it, you can use the app, but just go to Airbnb.com first and then go to log in. If you don't have an account, you can create one. Just using your Gmail. If you use Continue with Gmail, it makes it faster because you can get into your account without having to create, a brand new username, password, and all that if you're creating it with Google. Okay, so let me see in the chat how far along you guys are. Okay, who's on Airbnb.com? Put it in the chat. And those of you who are on your computer at home, or if you watch this later and you're on the computer, you can still follow along on the computer. It's fine. But since most people on here are on their phone, we're going to do it on the phone so it can look the same on the screen. All right. Put in the chat if you're on Airbnb. Okay. Francis says she's there. All right. Have you created an account using your, just choose any Gmail account? All right. Dr. Diane says she's there. Francis says she's there. Okay. Everybody else on here? Okay, I'm doing it with you guys, just as if I'm starting brand new. So you guys can see the same thing on the screen. 2020. All right, so I'm logging into mine now. Oopsies. Oh, great, I forgot my password. All right, I have so many passwords. 20. Okay. All right, so Jewel says she got the email. Jewel, are you on Airbnb.com? Have you created your account? Okay, you have? All right, let me know once you guys are done creating the account so I can tell you what to do next. I mean, the process itself is pretty simple. but I just wanted y'all to do it with me. All right, so Dr. Diane, if you're on your phone, when you go to the page, if you're, do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android? Okay, so if anybody's on the home page of Airbnb.com, you should see somewhere on the bottom where it says create an account or profile. All right. What are you seeing on your phone, Dr. Diane? Is anybody using an Android? Is everybody on here using the iPhone? Okay. So on the bottom of the screen, you should see where it says explore, wish list, trips, inbox, and profile. It won't have profile if you don't already have an account. It would have create account there. All right. Are you seeing it now, Dr. Diane? All right, Chantel, you said you are using an Android. Francis, you're using an Android. All right, so where did you find the create an account on your Android? Put it in the chat for Dr. Diane so she can get to it. Chantel, I see you're using an Android, and Francis, you're using one too. Okay, she says she sees lots of pics. Are you looking on the bottom of the screen, Dr. Diane? As you scroll down on the pics, you should see a pop-up on the bottom of the screen. And it kind of looks like this, where it has profile, inbox. It's like down here, kind of like right underneath the pictures. Should be right under the pictures, but I'm using an iPhone, so I don't know if you're seeing the same thing that I am. Right underneath the pictures, you should be able to see right above the Airbnb.com. Okay, so Sonia says the borders info where you have on the left and right of your screen is blocking what you're trying to show. Okay, where to go? All right, Dr. Diane, what are you seeing? I might have to let you on here so we can do it together since you're using an Android. Mm-hmm. Do you mind coming on? You don't have to be on camera. It's up to you. Because if you come on, then somebody else can follow along too. Here, let me put it in here so you guys can. All right, Shantae says she sees a lot of houses too. Okay, we're going to have to bring Dr. Diane on. Shantae, do you mind coming on, or Dr. Diane, one of you guys? Do the desktop view. Who would like to come on so I can put the link in the chat for you to come on? Shantae or somebody that has an Android, because I think everybody else has an iPhone, which is easier to find with the iPhone. Okay, you said you would like to come on. Okay, so let me put it in the chat. I'm going to have to change the angle of this to put it in the chat, which is going to look a little weird for a second. All right. All right. So, you guys look in the chat. You should see the link to invite. Okay, give me a second. That's weird. Desiree, you have an Android too. Are you seeing the link to sign up to create your account? Because I know you have an Android too, Desiree. Are you seeing the link to create your account or not? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. There's typically a link right here where I can invite you guys in with. I had to switch to my iPad at the last minute. Okay, there we go. I see it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put the link in the chat. And then somebody with an iPhone who wants to kind of walk along and do it together, click on the link to join. So weird. All right, Tanya, you're on the iPhone too. Chantel, you said you've already signed up. Okay, good. So you're good to go. Anybody else still need help trying to get on from a iPhone or a okay. Okay, great. Okay, so you said you're signed up, which is good. All right, and the link is in the chat now for anybody who wants to come on or if you're having trouble getting on there. Okay, is everybody else connected? Are you on Airbnb.com? Okay, and has everybody created their accounts? Because it's already 7:30, so we can kind of move along. So everybody's created their accounts. If you have, then go on to profile. And when you're on your profile, you should be able to see, well, I don't know how it looks on the Androids, but this is what it should look like on. You should be able to see where it has either your personal account, your account, manage listing. So right there where it says manage listing, once you click on profile, you're going to click right there where it says manage listing, right there under hosting. So I'm going to click that. All right. Click manage listing. And then this is where you can go. If you don't have any listings, you're not going to see anything in there yet. But when you look on the bottom of this page, when you click on manage listing, on the bottom here, you'll see listings, which is like right here. You'll see listings, and you can click on that to create your first listing. For those of you who are on the iPhone, it's going to be the exact same because it's always going to be the tab on the bottom that has profile, inbox, listing, calendar, and stuff like that. Android, I'm not sure what that is going to be on the screen. That's why I wanted someone with the Android to get on here. The link is in the chat for anybody who wants to join the live. And you don't have to be on camera. Okay, so when I go to listings, it shows me like my listings. You guys can see it. So this is one of the, shows me my listings. That's one of the listings that's in Uganda right now. And if I scroll up, it'll show me like some of my other previous listings. I keep scrolling, it will keep showing me more and more of my listings. So if you go to listings, you'll see no listing. So if you don't have a listing, it's going to say no listing. So you're going to go on the bottom where it has listings down here and click listing to do your first listing. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm doing a new listing. I do actually need to do another one anyway. Okay, Jewel, you said you're on your iPad. All right, what page are you on your iPad? Y'all do know you can join, right? The link is in the chat for those of you that want to join. Y'all can be right here on the screen with me so we can talk through this. I don't have to be putting it in the chat. Do y'all see the link in the chat to join? Do y'all see the link? Okay, y'all have put so many messages in here. It was up there. The link was up there. I think it was posted before Shantaya's message. In here, I now have for my international 1, 2, 3. There's 5 listings in here currently. I just got rid of another 5 of them. All right. Do y'all see the link in the chat? Who's on their iPad? Somebody else said they're on their iPad. Just join. If y'all can just join the chat, that'd be great because we can just talk through this and not have to read the chat and stuff. Okay, do y'all see the link in the chat to join? To join the live. And like I said, you don't have to have your camera on. If you don't want to be on camera, you can still join. Okay, let me put the link in the chat again because the more stuff y'all write in here, the more it moves up. Hold up. All right. You guys should see the link is in the chat. And I'm going to put it in there again so it can move up to the top. Okay. I just have to change the angle of the camera to get into the chat. Paste. Okay, there you go. I think I see some of you guys coming on. Great. All right. Let me take this off so I can see y'all. Okay. Huh. Okay, I see y'all are. I'll let you guys in. And make sure that unless you're speaking, be on mute unless you're speaking. All right, can y'all are on now. So make sure you're on mute unless you're speaking so we don't get a lot of echo. All right. Hey. I saw your camera on for a little bit. I saw that camera on for a little bit, Shantae. How are you?
I'm okay. It just don't get my hair done by my husband.
Oh, okay. What page are you on? You said you already signed up for yours?
Yes, I signed up for mine.
Hey.
I signed up. Yes, my husband.
Okay, so you signed up. So now that you're signed up, what page are you on?
I'm on the page where it has like all the properties on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much that. And
Do you see where it says listings?
It says the listings like 540 a night, and then they got 1,191 a night. So I'm looking at.
Are you using the iPhone or
I'm using the Android?
You're using the Android?
Yes.
Huh. Okay. So go to your profile.
Okay, I went to my profile.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me get back there again. Okay, I went to my profile. It has my information up there.
Okay, so if you're in your profile, let me go back to my profile real quick.
Okay, I have my name. I have my email address. I have my phone number.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't provide the ID yet. I could just add that on later. The address I ain't putting yet in emergency contact. That's the only thing it's accent on my end.
Yeah. Do you see your menu bar?
Of course. At the bottom, where it has explore, it has wish list, it has trips, inbox, and profile.
There's no menu bar?
Nope. That's my menu bar.
Is there a menu bar on the top? Maybe it's different on Android.
I think it's totally different. Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
I don't. I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. I don't
So
know.
click on profile again,
Okay. Okay. Let me see.
and then tell
All
me
right.
what you see.
I did the top one,
Mm-hmm.
which was the profile up there. It says it's been confirmed information, verify identity, and that's the
Oh,
question
okay.
to
So it's
go.
not done creating your account yet. That's probably why it's not showing you the option to do a listing yet, because it still has to
Okay.
confirm your identity and stuff like that. All right.
Because
So is
I went
anybody else
on
on there
this
seeing the
list.
listing option?
Whatever you give me.
Shantea, did they what is it asking for you to verify? What is it asking you to
It's
do?
like my identity or something like that.
Yeah, so it's gonna verify that you're a real person
Okay.
for you to be able to create an Airbnb account. Okay. I
Okay.
just want you guys to actually go through the process so you can see how. So when you have people renting your space, you know that they have to go through this process before they'll
Okay.
even be allowed to have an account on Airbnb to be
Can
able
I
to
ask
rent
you a
anything.
question?
Uh-huh.
Is you near New Jersey?
Who's in New Jersey?
I said, is you near New Jersey?
I am in Virginia. Just for now, I'm getting ready to move. So and I travel a lot. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
right now I'm in Virginia.
Oh, okay. I used to live in Richmond and Norfolk years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm close to Norfolk. I'm in the Suffolk area. I'm out in
Oh,
the country. That's why I've been having all that pollen out here.
oh, got you. I hear
Out,
you.
I'm out in the country in Suffolk.
I like that area. I'm on here. It's so peaceful. I like peaceful things.
Mhm. All right. So Desi, I see you're still on here. Francis, are any of you guys done creating your accounts?
Yeah,
Um,
it's asking about tell me about your property. How does your house look like? That's why it's saying.
Okay. So it's asking you to, yeah. So it's basically walking you through the process of listing the property, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go through it. What are you seeing on the page right now? So how did you get to the listings? Because you're on your Android. How did you find it? Where was it at? Did you go to the menu bar? Where did you find it to go start the listing? Because Tanya's not finding it. I mean, Shantae is not finding it. I have an iPhone, so it probably looks different on yours. Francis, what did you go to see to where to do your listing on the iPhone? And if you guys are doing this on the computer later, I suggest you just do it on your computer or your iPad. It's easier, obviously, than doing it on the phone. Francis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go to find it? You
I
don't
went to
remember?
Airbnb. When you click
Uh-huh.
after you finish creating your account and then you click on next, it will carry you to the page where it will tell you say setting you should set up and get started. That's where I
Okay.
went.
So after you
Yeah.
created your account, you just click next, and then
Yeah.
it took you to the page where you could. What
Yeah.
was
The
that?
starting up is easy. Something
Starting
about
up is
Airbnb.
easy.
Yeah.
Get started. Okay. So it
Yeah.
automatically takes you to that. Once you create the account, you click next, and then you
Yeah.
see the little thing that says starting up is easy, and then you click get
Hmm.
started, and that's how it
Yeah.
took you to the listings.
Yeah.
Okay, so Android people, that was the process for her. Shantae, were you able to find that? Oh, I don't know if you're still on. Okay, so now you're in the listing part. Um, what are you seeing on the? What is the first question it asks you in the listing part?
So
So for me, it says welcome, create a new listing, or you can duplicate an
you
existing
go
listing.
you go
Uh-huh.
back. It's easy to get Airbnb started. Then you click on get started.
Okay, so we're just gonna pretend that you want to rent out your couch. So, and we'll create the listing based on that. So for
Okay,
me,
get
it says
started.
create a new listing. What are you seeing on your screen? says it's easy to get started on Airbnb. So I see what you're talking about to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first question is tell us about your space, your place, correct?
Yeah, which of these best describes your place?
Okay, so you put, it's going to say tell us about your place. You click next, and then it's going to say which of these best describes your place. And it's going to give you an option between choosing a house, an apartment, a barn, a bed and breakfast, a boat, a cabin, a camper, casa particular, which means just like a unique property, a cave, a castle, a like cyclic home or something like that. A container, like if you have one of those shipping container homes, you can rent it on here too. A dome, a farm, a guest house, a hotel. Basically, you're gonna go through, look at all those different options. If you're doing a tent in your backyard, there's even an option for a tent, a tower, a tree house, a tiny home, a windmill. Literally, you can rent out a windmill. So just click on one of those. So let me see if it has the option for. I don't see the one for a couch in here. I see a guest house, a tent, a tree. Okay, so you can just click on the option that says, do you live in a house or an apartment, Francis?
I live in the house.
Okay, so just click on house then,
Okay, house.
because within the house, it'll, give you some more options. So click on house and then click next. For those of you who are in an apartment, click apartment and click next. If you're renting out a boat, click boat and click next. If you're doing a camper, click camper and click next. If you're just trying to do a tent in your backyard, then click tent and click next. Okay, so let me know once you click next, Francis.
Yeah, it said an entire place, a room, a shared room. That's the option you gave me.
Okay, so once you click home or apartment, then it's going to ask you what type of place will your guests have. Is it going to be the entire place that you're trying to rent out? Are you just renting out a room in the house? Are you doing a shared room where you're just renting it per bed? So just click a room for now.
A room, okay.
And click next. If you guys are doing the entire place, click entire place. If you're doing a room, click room. This is just a sample. You can delete this at the end. So don't worry about doing it. I just want you guys to get an experience of doing
Okay,
it.
let me
Don't
put
have
my
to listen.
address.
Okay, so click room. And then the next page after that is going to ask you to put your address. And then you're going to put your address in. I'm going to put 53.
Okay. Confirm your address. Confirm.
All right, so let's put the.
Yeah. Is the pin in the right spot?
Okay.
Yeah.
Put the
Yes.
address in.
Yes. Let's start with the basic. How many people can stay there?
Okay. All right. So did you already put the address in? What, you on the next page now?
Yeah, it's asking me how many people can stay there. Like, let's start with the basic.
So if you're renting a room, then it's up to you. Do you want to let a couple stay in the room, or you only want to let one person stay in the room? That's up to you. And then you can put that in there. If you can put 2 people if you want maximum 2 people to stay there.
Okay.
So it's how many people can stay here. So you can put 2 guests. Usually it will already be on 2 guests. So just leave it on 2 guests.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to ask you how many beds do you have in that room. If you have 2 twin beds in there, then you put 2. If it's just so you're just going to fill that in accordingly. And it's going to ask you if the bedrooms have a lock or not. If it does not have a lock, you can put no. That's not a requirement or anything. But some people, if they're renting a room in their house, sometimes they want to have a lock on the door, just for privacy. So that is an option, something that you can do if you are renting a room in your home, and you want them to, you want to be able to lock the doors. You can add a lock. But if you don't have a lock, you can just put no and then click next. Okay, let me take this. Okay, I got the thing keeps switching by itself. All right. All right. What page are you on now?
Okay, I've been jumping you. It said make your place stand out. That's where I am now.
Make your place stand out. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm trying to take Dr. Diane's comment off the screen. I don't see where it. Oh well, I'll just leave it up there for now. Interesting. All right. And let me see. All right. Then it's gonna ask you what kind of what is it saying on your page? Mine's asking what kind of bathrooms are available to guests.
Oh, I did that one. I just said like the share bathroom because that's the
Okay,
one
so
that
you did a
I
shared
to.
bathroom.
Yeah.
All right. If you have
Mm-hmm.
multiple bathrooms, so where the person can have their own bathroom, you can do multiple. Or if it's shared, you can just do shared. Or if the room has a private, like if you're doing your master bedroom or something that has a master suite already, bedroom, bathroom already kind of within it, then you can do private and attached because that's the option it's gonna give. Okay, and then you click next. It basically walks you right through it. Then it says who else might be there. So this is basically you just answering the question of, hey, if somebody came and rented that room with you, who else can they expect to be in the house? So you're gonna put me
Me
if
and
you
my
have any
family.
family. Okay, so then you're gonna click me and you're gonna put my family. It should let you pick multiple. Now, if you were
Yeah.
doing like a shared room, like maybe where you were renting beds separately, then you would put like roommates. So that's where the roommates come in. So for those of you, let's say you have an extra room and you put twin beds in there, but you're renting the beds separately, then you would click roommates for that. Otherwise, you're just going to put me if you're going to be in the house. If you have any other family in the home, you can also click my family and then click next. Okay, so it's actually asking make your place stand out. Are you on that page right now?
Yes, they make a place stand out.
Okay, so you're
Next.
gonna click next. This is where you're gonna put in your amenities. All the little
Mhm.
unique things that's gonna make your property stand out.
Mhm. So Wi-Fi.
Okay, so then it's gonna ask, do you have
TV.
Wi-Fi? Do you have a TV? The bare minimum requirements you want to have in the room is at least a TV with Wi-Fi, like, or a smart TV. Now, if you have an older TV that's not a smart TV, you can always add like a little Roku stick or something so that they can be able to access. But I always recommend just having Netflix because then you can use it in multiple locations and multiple TVs throughout the home without having to pay for cable for, every time you get an Airbnb is a lot cheaper. You just pay the little extra for the Netflix and let you use multiple screens. So just click Wi-Fi and then the TV. Then make sure you have a TV in that room and Wi-Fi. If you have a washer and dryer and that's something that they'll have access to, then you're gonna click washer. And then if they're gonna be able to use the kitchen, which if somebody's renting a room, you should allow them access to the kitchen. And then if you're living somewhere where it's also going to ask you, hey, is it free parking or is it paid parking? It depends. If you're in an apartment complex, they may require, them to have, some type of tag or access to park. If you have that, you would just click. If it requires them to pay, you would put paid parking. If not, you can just put free parking on premises. And then if you have a desk in a chair, then you would click dedicated workspace because there's somewhere for them to actually sit and work. Okay. And then it's going to ask for like any other amenities, like if you have a pool, a hot tub, a patio, a grill, outdoor dining area, or a fire pit, a piano, exercise equipment. If you have any of those, just click it. If you're close enough to the beach where you have beach access, you're going to click that. If you don't have any of those, you can just keep going because a lot of those are like outdoor amenities. If you live in an apartment complex that has a pool and you're renting from there, you can click pool. If you have a patio, you can click patio. And if they have an outdoor dining area and barbecue grill, maybe in the, because a lot of apartment complexes have like a main court. I forgot what it's called. Like a little room that kind of people can hang out in. So if they have those things like a fire pit or barbecue grill there, you can also put those as amenities as well, if your guests will have access to them. Because remember, some complexes, they may not necessarily allow everybody to have access to it, especially if you have a community that uses fobs and stuff. So if they do have access to it, then you can click on those amenities. If they have a pool, hot tub, barbecue grill and stuff. If they're not going to be able to have access to it, then just leave that amenity and don't click it. And keep going and click next. It's also going to ask you if you have safety items. Do you have a smoke alarm? Do you have a first aid kit? These are just some little things to kind of keep in the back of your mind that it would be nice to have. Get you a little first aid kit. I think they're like, I forgot how much it costs. I've seen them for even like $5. At, I don't think, I don't remember if it was Walmart or somewhere, but they do sell the first aid kits pretty affordable. It's nice to just have one in your Airbnb if you're going to be renting, and hopefully your place already has a smoke alarm or carbon monoxide alarm. That's pretty typical. So just click those and then click next. All right, what page are you on now, Francis? It should be the page to add some pictures after that.
Yes.
Okay, so for that, you can just put some random pictures in there for now, just so you can have something.
Yeah.
Just put like 2 random pictures in there just to have something to as a placeholder, and then you can go back and update the pictures later on when you're ready to do a real listing. And then click upload. For those of you who are actually doing a real place, make sure you take your pictures. Now in the course, I'll actually teach you guys how to take your pictures, because there's a certain way that your pictures need to look for your listing to move up to the first page of Airbnb. So I told you guys every property I've ever had on Airbnb has gone up to the first page without me having to do any promoting or anything, just because I know how to take the pictures, the different angles to take them from, and just there's different ways that you can take the pictures where things just looks better. Or you can even hire somebody that specializes in real estate pictures to take your pictures for you. But hey, you can take it with your iPhone and get better quality than some of that stuff. All right, so once you have your pictures in there, then it should let you, I think you may need to have at least 5 pictures in there for it to let you move on to the next part. Let me add a couple more pictures. I'm doing this with you guys, so I'm just adding some random pictures in here for now. I should actually just go ahead and post my other property, but I haven't taken pictures of it yet. All right. Okay. All right, and then once the pictures are in there, it'll allow you to arrange it. You want to take your best picture and make it your cover photo, and then click next. And then after that, it's going to ask you to give a description of your home. So for those of you who are familiar with ChatGPT, it writes really, really good descriptions, and you can put in there, write a description for a 2-bedroom condo, or write a description for a 2-bedroom cottage, depending on what type of home you have. For a short-term rental, and the app will write you a really, nice description. But for now, just put, if it's a 2-bedroom house, just put 2-bedroom house with private room for rent or something like that. If there's anything unique to your area, like if you're close to beaches, or if there's like a bustling city, with a lot of nightlife, you want to put things like that so people will, it'll attract them when they're coming to stay, deciding whether they want to stay with you or not. So just put 2-bedroom house with private room for rent, and then any type of key things that would make it stand out. Are you in a city? Are you in a bustling city where they can walk to a restaurant? Are you in a bustling city where they can walk, to a gym, to all the different things that they would need? Some people like to be downtown. Some people, if does your property have a view of anything, a view of the city, you want to put all those little things in there. That's going to make your description stand out. So just put something basic in there for now. I'm just doing this live, so when you guys are actually ready to go list your stuff, you can come back and rewatch this, and it'll walk you through it. So just make sure you're distinguishing all the little things that make your property stand out. If you have a beach that's within driving distance, if you have, a city, anything, any type of attractions within that area, you want to put it in here. Not overload it with that, but just kind of highlight your description with it. Kind of like condo in the heart of a bustling city, or walking distance to movies and restaurants or something like that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And then you put that in your description. And if you need a little bit of help with your description, you guys use ChatGPT to, help you write that description. Take what you've written and put those little key things in ChatGPT and ask it to write you a professional description, and it'll do it for you. Okay, and then click next. Once you have that, I'm just doing it as an example. So I'm putting 2-bedroom with private room for rent, shared bath. And of course, they're going to have access to the kitchen. So, and then, first it's going to tell you to put a title. So you can just put like private room for rent or something like that. But coming up with a cool title for your listing is really, really key too, to get a lot of listings, a lot of bookings. So that's another thing that I teach in the course, because if you just put 2-bedroom house for rent, you have to find something a little bit more unique than that. All right. I think for one of my properties, I had like high rise. It was like high rise, and it was in like a high end neighborhood where only like a lot of business people stayed in. So I put something like that in there, so people knew it was like a high end, high rise building. Yep. Yes, that's right, Nia. She's asking, is it ChatGPT by OpenAI? It is ChatGPT by OpenAI. All right. And then once you have that, your title, you put your description in. So the description is where you're going to be putting all of your, because the title can only be but so long, but the description is where you can put in, any other key things like driving distance from the beach, or, walk to restaurants or something like that. Okay. And then after your description, then it's going to say finish and publish. Okay. So if you're not actually going to be posting anything, just click save and exit instead of next, because if you click next, it's going to actually list it on Airbnb. So just click save and exit. If you're just doing this as an example, click save and exit after this point, because you're pretty much done. If you click next, it's going to actually list it. Okay. So for me, I'm just going to click save and exit since I'm not doing a real listing right now. All right. So that was an easy, quick walkthrough. I wanted you guys to actually get the opportunity to go through listing something on Airbnb. All right. So we have that experience now. Now today, we're going to go a little bit over, because I did want to cover, even though I have my live tonight, I did want to still cover some of the Airbnb zoning laws and things like that. So let me see before I do that. All right. So you guys, you can leave the chat now. Are you already done with yours?
Yeah, just save.
Okay. So you can leave the thing now. All right. So you guys should have a good example to be able to kind of walk through with me when you're ready to go ahead and do it. All right. So one of the things that is going to be critical, guys, when you guys are deciding and getting ready to actually rent your properties, because some people have been making so much money off of Airbnb, Uncle Sam's trying to get his cut. Okay. So a lot of cities and states now are requiring business licenses now to do Airbnb. They didn't even require that before. When I first started doing Airbnb, none of this stuff was required before. It was just like, there's no holds barred. You could just go in and do it. Now we have all of these different things coming into play now, because hey, they want us to start paying taxes on stuff, right? Because when they see you making a lot of money, Uncle Sam got to get his cut. So certain states, and so depending on where you are, you're going to have to know whether does your city require you to have a business license to do Airbnb. What are the building and housing standards? Those are pretty typical across the United States. Things like making sure you don't have mold in the home, and making sure you have uh, carbon monoxide detector and smoke detectors and things like that. Make living accommodations, a place that is livable. Okay, just basically speaking, that should be, people should kind of know what livable space looks like. Zoning rules, that's another thing. Is your property out on a farm somewhere where it's zoned commercial and not necessarily residential? Will that allow you to rent it out as a short-term rental or not? So things like that you would have to be aware of. Special permits. Certain cities require special permits for certain things. And then I think somebody asked a question about the taxes yesterday. I think it was Dave. And for the taxes, I know when you're listing a property on Airbnb, when you go in to add taxes, it will not allow you to add or charge taxes unless you can show that you are actually a business entity, which means you need to be able to put your tax ID number in there, your business address in there, things showing that you are a legitimate business. You have to be able to do that for it to allow you to even charge taxes. You don't have to charge taxes. It's just if you want to. And then the landlord and tenant laws. Oh gosh, that's a big one. All right. So this one got me along. Guys, I've learned so much of this stuff just the hard way, bumping my own head. So especially back when they didn't have any of these regulations that they have now on Airbnb. They didn't have none of this stuff before. The landlord and tenant law, that one really got me. So I think it was just like during COVID. So we had a tenant that he was renting. There was this guy, he was a nurse, and he was renting one of our apartments. And I think this was one of the apartments we had in Richmond, Virginia. So he's renting the apartment, and because he was a traveling nurse, and it was during, the 19, we can't see certain stuff on YouTube. It was during that time, he was like, he had stayed. Typically, we'll only let people stay maximum 4 days in our Airbnbs. So after the end of the 4 days, he contacted us and said, hey, it's during COVID. It's, I'm a traveling nurse and the hospitals require me to stay longer. Can you extend your policy and let me stay longer than 4 days? We had never done that before. Now, granted, having a good heart, you are Christian and everything. And you're like, yeah, this guy is a nurse. He's saving lives. Let's work with him here. Okay. So of course, thinking I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, sure. We're going to extend the policy and let you stay a little bit longer. After all, you are a traveling nurse. You're saving lives. The hospital needs you. We'll let you stay longer. Biggest mistake of our lives. Okay. This is when I learned the landlord-tenant laws, because I didn't know that. So we let him stay a little bit longer. We realized a couple of weeks later, he stops paying. Now he's not paying anything. And we're like, okay, what's going on? So apparently this guy's brother was an attorney, and he knew that if he stayed over a certain amount of days, he legally is now a tenant. So we could not get him out of our property without going through a 30-day notice, the typical process a landlord would have to go through to evict somebody. But the only problem with that is because it was during that time when everybody was in their homes thing was going on, because it was during that time, the governor of the state of Virginia had put a ban on evictions. So here we are 4 months later, this guy is not paying anything, will not leave our property. We can't evict him because the governor has a ban on evictions. And we're just sitting here. Okay? Because we did not know our landlord-tenant laws. We didn't know that he was now legally a tenant. Okay? So this is another thing that we have to look out for. People are getting privy to this, and they're getting in people's properties and refusing to leave. So even though they may have only been staying with you a week, which is the reason why I still don't allow anybody to stay longer than 3 days in my property. Now we do have, if they really need to stay like a month or something like that, I will on a one-on-one basis, talk with them and everything, really see what they're trying to do in town before I approve that. But be very, very careful with people staying longer, because once they become a tenant, even though they were only supposed to be staying a week or however many days, now you may not even be able to get that person out of your property without going through a full 30-day notice and all of that stuff. Taking them to court and all that. Okay, which is going to cost you money and cause you to lose money, because now somebody's sitting in your property and you're losing money. So these things are very, very important to know. Dave says the governor in Florida has passed a law to stop that. Yep, which is good. I'm glad they are making some changes, moving in the right direction for that. But it's still key to also know these things. Okay, it's exciting to say, hey, I'm going to go make some extra money and put my couch up for rent. But these things are important, which is the reason why, our training is done today, because I've already done the 3 days. There's no way I can possibly teach you guys everything I know. But make sure that you are paying attention to the laws and regulations in your specific areas as well. So as you're doing this wisely, and you're also covering yourself, because you can lose money too just because you didn't know something. Okay, which is the reason why I also offer a course called Mastering Rental Arbitrage, where I hold you guys' hands through the process for those of you who are serious about this and would like to replace your passive income within the next year maximum. You can do it sooner than that. It just depends on if you start with one property, taking a profit from that and doing the next one and the next one. So the course is called Mastering Rental Arbitrage. It's going to teach you not just understanding the basics of rental arbitrage, but also you're going to also know how to navigate the regulations and get the rules and be in alignment with the rules that are in place for your specific area and your jurisdiction. We also teach you, we give you a list of the different things that you will need to have in your email. Because remember how we talked about when you reach out to the landlords for them to give you the property to rent, one of the main things that they're going to want to know is, why should we even rent this property to you? So you're going to need to have to be a professional company. So we help you with your branding. We'll build your website for you for your short-term rental company. That is all included in the course. So you don't have to go somewhere else to have them build your website and do your branding for you. So we create that professional website for you. It will list all of the benefits of the landlord working with you. We give you the email templates of exactly what to email to the landlords, so you can get them to agree to rent their property to you. And then in addition to that, also giving you the legal jargon and things that are necessary to put into the contract, because the contract is also good too. It's also important too, when you're working with these landlords, making sure you have it contracted for you to be allowed to do Airbnb in their property. Okay, because if you run into a situation where, let's say, somebody's sitting in your property and they won't leave, and you're not in sync with that landlord and they don't even know you're doing that in their property, you're going to be stuck. For the situation where the guy was in our place and he refused to leave, because we had a good relationship with the apartment complex, they got him out for us. They were like, why didn't y'all tell us a long time ago? Because we weren't even sure what was going on. So we didn't even tell the apartment complex, which was a mistake, but because we already had a good relationship with them. And because we had a good relationship with them, they actually waited till the guy left and just changed the locks. We're like, man, why didn't we think about that, right? Why didn't we think to do that? And we were able to get him out sooner than it would have taken to do a whole 30-day, letter and all of that stuff. So we teach you how to have a good relationship with your landlord, how to make sure the contracts are done well enough that you are allowed to rent the property from them and make this type of money off of it. We teach you how to also furnish the property in a way that it attracts corporate clients, the type of things you need to get, where to get your EV charger, what are some little things. And this is all things that's going to vary depending on where you're located, where it may be, let's say, for example, Tanya may be in a place where people in that area like to have, I don't know, maybe something specific, maybe a certain type of wine, or maybe there's more people that drive electric cars there. So she may need to do something for her Airbnb that's different than what Desiree may have to do, than what Naya may have to do. So this is literally holding your hand through the process and showing you how to do it where you are. Because again, depending on where you are, The rules may be different, the regulations may be different, the requirements may be different. Now, the only thing that you would have to do on your own with taking the course, of course, you would have to get your own business license if there is, but we'll tell you if it's required in your area or not. You would have to get that. But as far as your branding and your website, we'll do that for you. And making sure we're giving you the contracts to use for your landlord, making sure we're giving you the email templates to email to your landlord. All that is given to you within the course. And then in addition to that, we do, once you enroll in the course, I mean, it's basically in a video format. I'm teaching in the videos. It's going to give you a checklist of how to kind of get to your goal quickly. Once you enroll, you will get a one-on-one appointment with me, where it'll basically be a passive income retirement strategy appointment. It's a video meeting with me so we can look at your goals, see how soon you would like to replace your income, look at the area that you're in, look at your market, give you some realistic goals so we'll know exactly what we're doing. And then you'll be given access to the course. But that will give you kind of an actual roadmap. And then also, in addition to you just watching the videos and following along in the course, you also meet with me twice a week. I have open office hours twice a week on Tuesday and Thursdays from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m. I'm in open office hours twice a week where you're live online with me. I can hold your hand through the process. If you're seeing, hey, I could be making a little bit more money here in my listing, what's going on? You can pull it up. We can do it together. And we can literally, you can share your screen and we can do everything together with you, holding your hand through the process within the course. Trying to see, there's so much more in here, but I mean, that's basically about all I can cover today because it's already about 8:15. So for those of you who may not know, fully my background as far as in business, I have been in business for I'm 40 years old now, guys. I just turned 40, but I've been in business since I was 10. Okay. So it's literally about 30 years of being in business. I personally, within the rental arbitrage space, has made over $250,000, including my other passive income strategies. All my businesses have all 5 stars reviews. For those of you who have followed me, you know that I've been on television internationally, everywhere from TBN to NBC to CTN TV, the Word Network, the Church Channel, so many more. I can't even think of all of them right now, including Fox 40. So again, if you didn't know, now you know. I mean, we're legitimate all across even the media. And again, you can go check our reviews yourself online. You're not going to see anything negative on there. And for those of you who want to know, here it is. This is the course, Mastering Rental Arbitrage. There's the barcode right there you can enroll with. And then for those of you who are registered, in the email, you have a link to enroll that gives you the $100 off. Okay. But for those of you who are not registered, then you would just use this link here to enroll. For those of you who are serious about retiring with some passive income. So by this time next year, you can have a whole nother outlook and probably be walking away from your job. Eventually, I am going to start a travel with passive income club for those of you after you're retired from your jobs doing the passive income and you're like, hey, Patience, I would like to travel with you because I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling this year, especially in Latin America. We're going to be going to Peru, Costa Rica, Bolivia, Brazil, just a lot of countries this year. I'm trying to see the world and really, really, really just enjoy my passive income internationally. It's not a time for me to see that. Because for those of you who know my story, I had my son when I was kind of young. I had just started college when I had my son. So I know I put a lot of things on hold those, couple of years. So I just sent him to his father when his father retired from the military. So I feel like I'm literally starting over. It's like, okay, it's time for mama to go see the world and travel and enjoy her passive income. And so I retired at 39 so I could be able to do that. Okay, so if y'all are ready to go with me on this journey, retire with some passive income so you can be free from your jobs, have that money, time, and location freedom, which means you can go wherever you want, whenever you want. If I say, Naya, hey, meet me in Paris, let's have breakfast in Paris this morning, you can do that. Okay, you won't be limited to a certain place anymore, and you will have the finances to do it and the time to do it and the location freedom. Okay, so that's about it. So the full payment to enroll in the course is $14.97. Guys, I personally know 2 people right now who teach the information that I teach, and they don't even teach you how to do it internationally, and they charge $15,000 for their training. Okay, just so y'all know that. I've taken some of those courses, and I personally have paid that for a course. They charge 15 grand to teach you this. Okay, the full payment for my course is $14.97. You can split it into 2 payments of $748.50 if you want to do it in 2 months. If you want to split it into 3 payments, you can do $499 a month for 3 months. Okay, so I'm making this affordable on purpose. This is less than what it would cost you to acquire one property. And you're talking about making sure your hand is being held through the process, making sure you're not missing any of the legal things that need to be done when you're setting up your business, making sure that you're following the rules and regulations so you don't lose money in the process. Okay, all of that is worth way more than what you're going to be paying for this. All right, so that's going to be about it. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions. Open it up for questions, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up for tonight. Any questions about the course, about enrolling in the course? And I think you guys had a couple more questions up here I didn't get to earlier. Desiree said, yes, Lord, lay away. Okay. All right. Sonia says, what Governor DeSantis passed was for squatters, which is different from an eviction proceeding because the squatter is not a tenant. Okay, so that's going to be different from somebody that's renting your Airbnb, Dave. So that legislation will not apply to someone that's doing a short-term rental. I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. Y'all know I got to get ready for my live too. I'm going live at 9 o'clock. All right. Oh, the course is ready now. So basically the process is once you enroll in the course, it's going to send you the link to book your one-on-one appointment with me because I want to do a full appointment with you, talk to you, see what area you're in, look at your goals, and then give you a realistic expectation so we can have a plan. And then I give you access to the course. So yeah, the course is ready. All right. Dave says international rentals are better than the States. The profit margin is bigger, but there are different things that it just depends. Everything has its pros and its cons, and you'll learn that in the course as well. It seems like the international rentals are better because the profit margin is higher. But remember, you're not in that state or in that country. So you're either going to have somebody there to manage the property for you that you trust, which is a whole nother ball game because it's not going to be the same rules and laws as it is in the United States. So it's not like you can just sue them if they take your money and disappear. Okay, so it's a whole nother ballgame when you're doing business internationally. You have to have people there that you really, really trust. I'm talking about really trust. You can't even trust some of your family members. Okay, I'm just saying. So, which is part of the reason why for those that are interested in investing internationally, that's a service that we provide in the countries that we're in. We can acquire some units there for you and have our property managers there manage it for you. But we would be taking 30% of your monthly cash flow to be able to provide that service to you because we have to pay, the property manager and things like that. So the international rentals are available, Dave. But I recommend if you're doing something in a different country, make sure you really, really know who you're doing business with. Okay, because again, they don't have 911 over there. Okay, it's not the same like it is here. So it's a whole nother ball game. So you really have to know that market and have some roots there. Okay. But other than that, Datum, I always mess up your name. Is it Datum of Beauty? Y'all laughed at me. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight, guys, because I have to go live at 9 o'clock. Y'all know we have the regular live that I do on Monday and Wednesdays. Wisdom Wednesday is going to be in about 30 minutes. So, and I still have some stuff to do. I haven't really had to have something to drink or something, give myself a little 30-minute break before I have to go live at 9. So y'all have everything up here that you need. At the end of the day, this is the thing. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not here to sell this to you. You know where you are in your life. You know what you need. And if you need some passive income and you know you want to have that freedom, it's up to you to make that decision. The offer is here. My course is way cheaper than I know a lot of the people who are teaching this information, and I'm holding your hand through the process. So when you're ready, it's here. Click on the link. For those of you who are already registered, you already have the email with the link with the $100 off. And other than that, I will see you guys on the live tonight. Well, Sonia says, do you need to delay the live by about? Nope, I'm not delaying the live. I'm just gonna get off now so I can have about another 30 minutes or so. And then other than that, I will see you guys on Wisdom Wednesday, or I will see you in the course. All right, you guys have a great night. Well, night, because it's like 8:20 for me. Y'all have a great night. Oh, thank you, Lucilia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I gotta move this over. Okay. Night, night, night. Bye, bye, bye.